first to be able to attract what it is you really desire. Okay, my dear? So that was our first sign for those joining. That was the first sign that it's time to walk away from a love that hurts, is when you are engaging in an element of self-abandonment. Okay, my dear? It's okay, and it's very healthy and very necessary to prioritize your needs. Okay? So let's move on to our second sign that it is time to break up with that love that hurts. And that is when there is a marked lack of respect. So there is a lot of disrespectful behavior, disrespectful communication, name calling, insults, you name it, it's present in your relationship. I cannot tell you how awful and how foul it is when I learn that some people talk to their partners, their spouses, any type of way. It is just not acceptable. When we're speaking of respect, we're speaking of how you view other people, okay? How you hold people in high regard and high esteem, okay? When you respect someone, you admire them. You admire their work, their presence, their being, their spirit. There's something about them that resonates with yours, and you hold them in a higher regard, okay? It's not to say that they are perfect or walking around as a demigod or anything, but they have managed to be a person worthy of respect, okay? They are worthy of your attention and appreciation and respect. So when you are in a relationship where there is a lack of respect, it means that you do not love your partner, you do not love your spouse, you do not hold them in high regard, you do not think highly of them. If you are unable to praise your spouse, to find one positive thing to say about them, it could reflect on your possibly negative self-talk, okay? But it also could be that they are not a person worthy of respect, okay? It goes both ways, my dear. So let's talk about the self first, and then we'll talk about the partner. Yes, it is possible that we are so negative or that we are so pessimistic that all we can focus on is the bad, and all we do is reinforce bad behaviors by saying, you always do this, you never do that, okay? Look at how destructive and polarizing those terms are. So if you are speaking to your partner in a disrespectful way, you are encouraging the flow of disrespect back to you, and so the cycle continues. However, if you are able to turn that situation around with your mouth, the power of words, my dear, I am a firm believer in the power of the tongue. Okay, the Bible says life and death are in the power of the tongue. Are you speaking life over your marriage, over your relationship, over your partner, okay? Are you speaking life into the vision that your partner is bringing? So if we're healed women, we're speaking of kings, okay, our earthly kings. Are you speaking life into the vision that this king is bringing? Or is he a joker and you just have no way to speak life into him because he doesn't even believe it himself, okay? Like, let's be honest here. If we're not dealing with a king, who are we dealing with? And we cannot expect king behavior from a joker. They're on two completely different levels, my dear. So if you are, let's say we're not negative, we're not, dubious or doubtful in terms of the way that we speak to and of our partners, and it's the person who is not commanding respect, is the person who's not worthy of respect, it's time for you to go, girlfriend. What are you waiting around for? Are you waiting for this person to suddenly wake up, come to their senses, and realize that it's time to walk in respect? You don't have time to wait around for someone to come to that realization, okay? If there is a marked lack of respect in your relationship, you all do not love each other. You all do not think highly of each other. Why would you be with someone who you cannot praise, who you cannot admire, who you cannot find one or two positive things to say about them, to build them up, to pour into them, to support them, okay? If you all are constantly bickering, calling each other out of your name, calling each other insulting names, throwing insults, first of all, that could be borderline emotional abuse. Let's be honest here. Depending on the severity and the frequency of those incidents, that could be borderline emotional abuse, especially if it is one-sided, if one person is doing all of the name calling and the belittling. And if that's present, it's absolutely time to walk, my dear. We do not tolerate, as healed women or women who aspire to be healed, to be walking in their best season yet, to be walking as a free, healed, empowered woman. We do not tolerate abuse of any kind, physical, psychological, sexual, financial, spiritual. No. That is not our portion, my dear. That's not our portion on this earth. So it is in these signs, it is in the education and the renewing of your mind that you were able to discover What are some things that are just not okay? What are some things I'm not willing to tolerate? And what are some things maybe I can work on? And if there's no change, I'm getting ahead of myself. If there's no change in the relationship, then I can walk away. Because some of these can be improved, okay? When we were talking about self-abandonment, the first sign, it's a learned behavior, which means you can unlearn it. So you can absolutely go from a place of thinking of yourself as nothing and moving into a place of such beautiful self-love. And your relationship will absolutely shift. But if the person that you're with has been thriving off of the fact that you abandon yourself to be in that relationship, they will no longer benefit when you become a healed woman. So naturally that relationship will fall away anyway. Praise the Lord, okay? That's a blessing that you still lost that person, even though you became the person you were always meant to be. Because you've made room for who you're supposed to be with. And as it relates to respect, yes, I believe people can learn to speak their partner's love language, and that includes respect. I really believe respect is a major love language of the King, of our heavenly King, and of men, our earthly kings. Respect is how men interpret love. Men need to feel respected. But my daughter, if he is not a man worthy of respect, you do not owe him respect because he's a man. No. And if he is demanding it, he clearly does not understand how respect works. Respect is not demanded, it's modeled. You earn respect. You earn the right for me to think highly of you, okay? You must be a man worthy of respect. This must come naturally. You must work for this. Either it comes naturally or you must work for it, okay? You must be a man who commands the presence of respect and awe and admiration. You cannot demand that from someone, okay? It's honestly a gift that I give to you. And if that is lacking in a relationship, you're setting up your relationship on a very rocky foundation, okay, my dear? So it is so important that we understand how respect plays such a huge role in the dynamic in relationships. If you all are struggling to hear each other, hear, not just hear, listen, okay? If you all are hearing each other in an argument, but you are not listening, actively listening, you all are talking over each other, okay? Constantly bickering, constantly yelling, there's a lack of respect in that dynamic. If you all struggle to see each other's point of view, if you all struggle to understand each other's perspective and you're constantly putting down the other person's suggestions or input or possibly viable solutions to problems you all may be facing, you have deeper problems than whatever you're currently arguing about. You all have a deeper problem as it relates to respect, to communication, to understanding each other. Being able to speak the same language respect-wise goes so much more than just talking and hearing each other out. It's, am I understanding? Am I comprehending? Do I value their opinion? Do I even value what they're saying? And you can really tell a lot about a person by the way they listen to you and how they respond as well. My dear, it is so important that we understand how vital it is that you respect your partner. And I understand some situations may occur in your relationship that may cause you to fall away from that level of respect. If there is infidelity or a situation that really, everyone has situations or things that they won't tolerate. So maybe it doesn't have anything to do with another partner. Maybe it's a child if you all are a blended family, or maybe it's finances, or maybe it's the in-laws or parents. Situations that are really driving a wedge between you two. But if you all have the ability to still maintain that level of respect with each other, you have something worth fighting for. But if you begin to treat your partner in a really disrespectful way, or your partner has begun to treat you in a really disrespectful way, love is on its way out, I would say. Because once respect is gone, love is gone, my dear. That commitment has nothing to stand on, okay? Love is built on trust, communication, respect, okay? Vital portions of the foundation of a healthy, long-lasting, intimate partner relationship. And that's a harsh truth that's a hard or a big pill to swallow. I know it's a lot to take in, so I'm kind of going slow, kind of dialing it back a little bit. But if you all are struggling in this area, I would strongly encourage you to seek professional help first. Don't just give up on the relationship, But if there's no change, if there is an attempt to resolve the respect issue, because everything else will kind of work itself out once you all address the respect and communication issue, and there's no change on the part of your partner, or perhaps you are unable to get past whatever is causing this rift, it may be time to walk away from that relationship, my dear. Because without respect, you will have nothing. You will have nothing. You can absolutely build back respect for someone, but you all both have to be coming to the relationship, coming to the dynamic in a way that warrants respect, okay? That says, I'm here showing up every day for this relationship, for us. We are on the same team fighting together. And if you all have adopted a two-team fighting against each other mentality, you've already walked away mentally from that dynamic, from that relationship. Okay, my dear? Hope you all are really grasping this. We are moving right along on our 5 signs that it's time to walk away from that love that hurts. Our 3rd sign, there is poor communication. And this really goes hand in hand with our previous sign where there's a lack of respect. If you are in a relationship, my dear, like I want to say it goes without saying, but we got to say it. We got to say it for the healed woman, for the women who aspire to heal. If you are in a relationship where you cannot talk to your partner, what are y'all doing together? I am not laughing at you. I am merely thinking about the relationships I have been in. And it's comical because it's communication is I mean, verbal, nonverbal. I mean, communication is a huge way in which we bond with other people. Family, friends, loved ones, professional connections. I mean, you name it, we're communicating. We're always communicating with the people around us, okay? If you are in a relationship where the conversation is surface level, you are not going deeper. We know that that's a pretty common sign of being emotionally unavailable. But it's a little bit more insidious than that, my dear, which means it's a little bit more harder to detect. Poor communication means, or it kind of goes back to the lack of respect, the way you all talk to each other, the nonverbal body language, nonverbal cues that you all have. So it's not that there is a lack of talking, is that what you all are saying to each other is poor. So body language could be like cold shoulder. Whenever they get close to you, you just hit them with the cold shoulder. We ain't trying to hug or touch tonight. Or when they try to hold your hand, you gently pull away. And I'm not saying if you don't want to hold hands to break up with them. My goodness, no. But it's an accumulation, my dear. It's an accumulation of all these signs. It is these signs over time, and then the marked lack of respect, and then the other signs we'll be talking about. These things add up, and it puts you in a place of, what am I doing in this relationship where I am not being understood, not being respected, abandoning myself to be in this partnership. It's the accumulation of these signs, my dear, okay? So I'm just giving you some fodder to work with. So let's say it's the hand holding has stopped, and the butterflies have stopped, and the cold shoulder, and you all haven't touched each other. These are all big indicators that something deeper is going on, because your body language toward them is completely closed off. Completely closed off. So a couple that can't communicate, even through their nonverbal body language, you're saying, don't touch me, don't look at me, I don't want to talk to you, don't come near me. You may not be saying it with your words, with your voice, but you're saying it with your body. A couple that cannot communicate is destined to break up, okay? Hard pill to swallow, but we are saying it because we are here to learn, unlearn toxic mindsets, break up with abuse. I gotta give you the signs, my dear. A couple that cannot communicate effectively, healthily, is destined to break up. It is impossible to be in a relationship and you cannot communicate with your partner. You cannot express how you are feeling. You cannot share with them your heart's desires. It is not a safe space for you all to talk to each other, to dwell, to communicate, to, spitball back and forth, okay? You're not going to be talking every second of the day, of course not. But if you are in a relationship and you cannot be your true, authentic self with this person, you cannot let your guard down. You can't be vulnerable with them, okay? This is all part of communication. If you are in a relationship where you have to, what's the term? Like bridle your tongue, or just like hold your words. You can't be 100% honest. And we're not talking about trying to find a tactful way to say something. We're talking about you can't be your genuine self. You can't share the parts of your life that you wouldn't share with other people with this person. That's a pretty major sign that you all are experiencing some form of misalignment. And misalignment, we don't desire that as healed women. Okay, I see that the feed is doing something, so I'm going to trust that it's... Sorry about that, folks. We desire alignment as healed women, okay? We do not desire to be in a place where we are constantly misaligned on goals, visions, okay? The common goal and vision that we're working toward in our partnership, okay? Where we're misaligned on values, on our standards, on our personal beliefs. Those things are foundational to building a relationship, imperative that you are aligned. Not that you agree 100% in everything, okay? Alignment is the goal, not necessarily agreement. It's okay to disagree, it is. It's healthy, it's normal. You disagree with people you love all the time. I mean, if you all are constantly bickering, that's another thing. But if you all are largely aligned on visions, goals, dreams, your life path, your spiritual beliefs, there is a better cohesion, there's synergy, there's actual compatibility in that relationship. However, on the other hand, poor communication leads to petty arguments, arguing about things that aren't even related to what you're actually experiencing in your relationship, okay? So you all are constantly projecting your hurt and your disappointment onto each other in petty, really low level arguments, things that shouldn't even be an argument, shouldn't even be a thing if you all were having better communication. So it leads to more friction, more tension, okay? It leads to a really unhappy environment. Let's say you all have children. Children are now seeing you bicker and argue over the smallest things. And it really just leads to a really chaotic, confusing, what's the opposite of amicable household? Amicable, so it would be just a lot of contention and strife. You all are creating a really toxic environment in your relationship, in your home. It's probably spilling out into the streets if you all are, maybe arguing in the streets or going to blows. I don't know, God forbid. My dear, if this is happening inside of your relationship, you all really need to, okay, so I'm always going to suggest seeking professional help, seeking outside help, because I really believe that some of these can be reversed, okay? If you all are having poor communication, there's a deeper issue. You all are not hearing each other. You're not understanding what the other person is saying, truly understanding the heart of their message. And you all can go and hire a coach, a therapist, a couples counselor, so that you all can work through some of these things. I wouldn't say just immediately quit because you can't talk to your partner. I will always advocate for the saving, okay, of a relationship, the restoration of a relationship, only if it's not abusive. If this is abusive, if this sign is coupled with an element of abuse, healed women are not standing for that, okay, girlfriend? You know that. Healed women are overcoming abuse. We're not accepting it and hoping to pray away the abuse. God does not condone that, and neither do we. But if you find yourself in this situation and you have attempted therapy, counseling, coaching, whatever you all have sought out in an attempt to save your relationship, and there is still no change, the relationship is destined to fall apart anyway. If you cannot effectively communicate with your partner, what do you all have? What is the glue keeping the relationship together? And if you can honestly defend the relationship in spite of the lack of communication, then to you it's worth saving. But I personally believe, if you are experiencing that level of miscommunication in your relationship, it's not healthy. And it will not survive long term. So after you've done the searching and the digging and the healing, and it still remains unchanged, I would say it's time to walk away, girlfriend, because that is a love that hurts.